Hello, partners. We've done a lot of reports about those early days, colonial times, the decades during which America was born. We've looked at the lives of courageous men and women who made the decision to fight for democracy. In the case of the men who signed the Declaration of Independence, that was more than 240 years ago this week. Remember, they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors. Now think about this. If the revolution had failed, all of those men knew that they would be branded traitors by King George and hunted down and hanged. For this week, we'll focus on one founding father. But unlike many others, this one founding father thought of himself as a loyal subject of the king. He loved being British. Man, everything about London he loved, everything about the British Empire. Until one fateful day something happened that changed his life forever. Who was this? None other than Benjamin Franklin. He was an inventor and a pioneer in the understanding of electricity. He was in many ways the best known American of the time. But long before he was sent to Paris to wow the French leaders into supporting the American Revolution, he had been sent to London to plead another case. You see, partners, although the original colonies had their own forms of government for generations, they still had to deal with the British Crown, one colony at a time. Now, this meant that each of the colonies had to have some representative in London to look out for their interests. The American colonies had no one to vote on their behalf in Parliament, so the colonies hired men in London to look out for their business interests. Benjamin Franklin was in London to look out for the interests of Pennsylvania and neighboring New Jersey. What happened? Well, it wasn't long before he became the visible symbol of the colonies in England. Benjamin Franklin traveled the countryside with his son William, and all told, Benjamin Franklin spent more than 15 years in London. Hey, that's right. The man we remember as being a true American was effectively a citizen of London for more than a decade and a half. He was so powerful, he was able to convince the king to appoint his son William Franklin as the royal governor of New Jersey. Jimmy, where is all this going? When does old Ben Franklin stop being an Englishman and come back to America? Well, I'm glad you asked that. Here's what happened. During his time in London, Benjamin Franklin was given some special copies of letters that had been written by the royal governor of Massachusetts. Now wait, this gets kind of complicated, but just stay with me. In those letters, the governor told friends that it might be necessary to take drastic measures against any citizen who spoke out against the king. You're still thinking, what's going on? Just a minute. Even though Benjamin Franklin didn't make the letters public in England, they were eventually published in America. People stormed at the governor's house. Man, things got very messy. When word of this got to London, Franklin was blamed for the new unrest. Suddenly, it was Benjamin Franklin who began to represent the rising tide of freedom in America. For more than an hour, Benjamin Franklin stood silent in Parliament, and during that time, he was called every name in the book. And during that hour, a miracle happened. You see, partners, Benjamin Franklin who worshipped England and the crown, walked into that hall as a subject of the crown. But after being humiliated, he walked out of the hall an American. That's right. He immediately spent the rest of his life as a changed man. He went back to Philadelphia and served on the meeting that wrote the Declaration of Independence. He was in the thick of negotiations and became a driving force in the writing of the Constitution. Hey, he's so famous that one comedian once said, Benjamin Franklin is the only president of the United States who was never president of the United States. What? That's right. Only president who never was. Well, partners, what this story means is that all of us have to make decisions, and sometimes we have the rug pulled out from under us. In the tiny space of 1 hour, one of the most popular men in England had a light bulb go on over his head. He, in reality, saw the light, and the light he saw was the light of freedom. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy birthday, America. Well, you know the drill. Look up there, the 3 boxes at the right. You see the farthest on the right has a red X in it. Just click on that one. You'll be sent right back to the report page. Boy, like all the honorees, this has been fun telling you about a little item that made up this great American's life. Hey guys, I love you. Go get 'em, Tigers!